Hello there and you're welcome to Business Today. Thank you for joining us for this particular bulletin. I'm Rana Nahabwe with Winnie Wiins and Akauch in the sign language interpretation. Before we kick it off, here's a quick look at our top stories. In Business Today, Parliament calls out Ministry of Education to explain the issue surrounding expired university courses. DSTV, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, as well as financial institutions, partner to drive biogas market development. And universities defend themselves over release of expired courses by National Council of Higher Education. You're welcome once again. It's now time for the news in detail. A question: who is to blame for the expired courses? Parliament has summoned the Minister of Education tomorrow to give a statement on the purported report of expiry of university education courses. In his communication, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament informed that he received complaints from university student leaders and parents over the matter. Samla Hanifa has more of this report.
Yesterday, the public was shocked by the circulation of a document by National Council of Higher Education showing the expiry of educational courses at different universities in the country. The Deputy Speaker, Honorable Tayewa, says he has made efforts to talk to authorities in National Council of Higher Education and they refute the document as fake. But Tayewa insists that the Ministry of Education should clarify to Parliament and the country tomorrow.
Because what we need now is to reassure Ugandans that indeed those who are educated, their courses are okay. Their courses are okay. If they are not okay, what are you going to do about it? How do we make a declaration as a country that our courses are expired? As a country, you know, it's so scary. So it needs to be handled seriously.
According to legislators, National Council of Higher Education, together with the different universities affected, should account for the mess they have caused to Ugandans who have spent their money in school studying the very expired courses.
It is the public universities, and these public universities hold the greater number of our students who enroll through those institutions. So it is an issue of worry, but we want to believe that this will really be sorted out. We will want to know who slept on the job, whether it is the universities and the heads of those faculties and the programs, but also National Council of Sports, National Council of Higher Education, should have been fast enough to remind these institutions that have not yet accredited their programs to do so. Now, what will you tell the students who are now out there looking for jobs? They have been in the streets for the last few years and are expecting, and then today they are told that whatever you got from that institution, you have to start afresh. This is going to be a very big challenge.
And to mention the list, you pay tuition fee, and some pay even hostel or accommodation fee, plus feeding and other essentials you use as an academician. Now, what happens with all that? The universities being talked about defrauded Ugandans innocently. A typical Ugandan cannot know which university is gazetted, which university is licensed, which degree is licensed, and which particular course is licensed or approved. It is the duty of every university to ensure that the courses they purport to offer and announce are licensed and approved, meaning that we are going to see a multiplicity of suits in courts of law.
The MPs say it's absurd that universities do not take the initiative to follow up on courses they enroll in students, whether they are accredited by the National Council of Higher Education, yet Ugandans spend a lot of money on them.
It is a crisis in this country, and we even don't know who is in charge, because there are so many agencies responsible, but no agency is coming out to speak out. We have not even seen a university coming up to deny that actually for them they applied and they were never approved, meaning that the universities have been sitting down. I saw a letter from Makere University, the professor, this military professor, saying that, reminding his other university administrators that we are in bad press, what can we do? But I didn't see them mention that they applied for accreditation of their programs, meaning that the universities and the relevant administrators must take charge. They must be accountable for all this mess.
Students have committed resources, have educated children, and surprisingly today, you're told that the qualification your child has is now suspect because it did not have the approval of the regulator, and it is as good as telling you that we are not aware of that degree, we are not aware of that diploma, we are not aware of that master's. And this is going to affect very many people. So something has to be done quickly in order to restore hope of the people, but the institutions must also step up their game such that you don't take people unaware tomorrow.
The Minister of Education and Sports is expected to clarify to the public in a statement tomorrow about the issue, but universities have been cautioned on having courses which they cannot upgrade. Samlanifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Samle Hanifa, for that report. Now, still on the fate of Uganda's education system, as uncertainty hangs over the educational landscape in Uganda, a glimmer of hope emerges for students affected by the supposed phasing out of expired university courses. Private institutions have stepped forward to refute the claims, categorizing them as false information. This development has brought a sense of relief to thousands of students who were apprehensive about their potential impact on their careers. Naomi Mutumba reports.
National Council of Higher Education in Uganda announced phasing out of several university courses, leaving the future of thousands of current students and recent graduates in danger. The move comes as a result of a disheartening realization that courses pursued or completed by these individuals are now deemed or expired. At least 2,260 programs are listed as expired on National Council of Higher Education website, leaving the fate of tens of thousands of current and former university students hanging in balance. Private institutions in Uganda, which account for a significant portion of the country's higher education sector, have vehemently denied the existence of expired courses within their curricula. An expired or invalid course, in this case, is a degree or a diploma program not duly accredited for teaching by National Council for Higher Education, the sector statutory regulator. Speaking to Dr. Muganga, the Vice-Chancellor Victoria University has revealed as Uganda's education system is still lagging, which needs to be revamped.
You see, we teach in different universities. They have a life cycle. So once you develop a program with your internal staff, you have a new program. You have to bring in experts from the industry. If I'm preparing to develop a journalism degree program, so I have to go out and bring different gurus, journalists, experts to come and help me develop a program. So once I have a program, I have to submit it to National Council for accreditation. And they will give me 5 years. In 5 years, I have to do what? In 5 years, I have to make sure that a year before the 5th year, it is re-accredited.
To ensure maintenance of high-quality education, educational institutions are required to undergo regular program assessments. National Council of Higher Education has set guidelines mandating institutions to resubmit their bachelor's, diploma and certificate programs for assessment every 5 years, while PhD programs are subjected to assessment every 10 years.
Education, being a government regulator for tertiary institutions, for it to come up with such decisions, it might have brought on board the stakeholders. And who are the stakeholders? The responsible universities. And why did they need to bring them on board? It's because when you are going to cause changes, you don't just bring them abruptly without the knowledge of the people who are concerned. And I believe,
recognizing the importance of practical skills and real-world relevance, advocates are calling for a shift towards a more experiential learning approach that mirrors global standards. This information aims to broaden employment base in the country and equip students with necessary skills to thrive in the ever-evolving job markets.
An education system that is so theoretical that teaches people to know so much and can do so little. So we want an education system where you are in school for maybe 15 hours a week, but the rest of the hours of the week be in the workplace trying to do something.
It must be one of the ways the government is putting in place through that National Council for Education to see that in fact the products from universities can easily get employment, because they would have assessed and seen that these courses, the products out of them hardly get jobs after graduating. Why don't we scrap them off and then we put in place new courses? And I believe there should be more courses which should be more scientific, such that absorbing a scientist is not as hard as absorbing a person from a course where employment opportunities cannot be easily seen. Yes.
The council was established by the Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act 2001 to, among others, accredit institutions of higher learning and their programs. Section 119A of the law provides that, for the avoidance of doubt, no person shall operate a university, other degree-awarding institution, or a tertiary institution without prior accreditation of its academic and professional programs by the National Council of Higher Education. Naomi Mtumba, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Oh, well, thank you, Naomi Mutumba, for that report. We'll definitely be giving you all the perspectives to this story. All you have to do is stick around on Business Today and watch how this story unfolds. Now, financial institutions play a vital role in unlocking the potential of renewable energy for organic waste, as Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development collaborates with SNV Netherlands, GIZ, and Biogas Solutions Uganda Limited to implement the African Biodigester component across Burkina Faso, Kenya, Mali, Niger, and Uganda. This is an ability to empower communities and promote sustainable practices.
The bioenergy subsector has swiftly risen to prominence in Uganda's sustainable energy landscape, positioning itself as a critical player in the nation's pursuit for cleaner and more accessible energy sources. With growing investments, advancement in technology, and favorable government policies, bioenergy is shaping a greener and more sustainable future for Uganda. Government commends the ABC partners for their crucial intervention and eagerly anticipates accessing the impact of disseminating over 8,000 small-scale biodigester systems in Uganda, recognizing the transformative effect they have on local communities.
How you can produce these digesters and spread throughout the communities, and many people using it and producing their livelihood, their foods, using clean energy, then it means all of us survive. Okay. Yes. Plus even the animals, these living things like fish, like what?
Sub-Saharan African nations, including Uganda, heavily rely on biomass as a primary energy source for cooking and industrial heat processes. With 89.9% of primary energy supplied from biomass, this dependency poses challenges for users and the environment. Therefore, all stakeholders must unite in supporting sustainable resource utilization as a bridge toward spearheading the energy transition.
To be able to contribute to at least 8,000 biodigesters by 2026. So the project is working through a market-led approach where we've got biogas enterprises, and we want to promote the biogas enterprises to be able to actually come up with with the biodigesters within Uganda. Why biogas? Why biogas? That's one thing that one can actually ask. I think for us, the most important thing is, if you look at Uganda, for instance, the forest is degrading. People are using charcoal, people are using fuel wood for cooking, and we are saying biogas is an option which they can use in order to have clean cooking.
By implementing subsidies and financial assistance initiatives, the cost of biodigesters will substantially decrease, ensuring their accessibility to a broader spectrum of individuals and communities throughout Uganda. UGAFORD anticipates that this partnership will mitigate financial risks and promote greater financial inclusion.
It is very, very important because 54% of our customers are agriculturalists. So that puts them in a position to access and enjoy clean energy. Of course, there is the cost of borrowing that has gone up, and it scares off the customers. But the most important thing is the reason why we are having these funders, so that we have de-risking and risk sharing, so that the customers can access the clean energy at a very low rate compared to the prevailing rate of 4%, 3%, whereby if, for example, you bought a stove or you bought lighting system and you got it at 4% or 3%, which is trading in the banking industry due to the cost of fund, it becomes very expensive for the customer.
Well, even the resources that are used, the raw materials, are from the villages themselves. So you can make them, you can even sell the stoves.
Biodigester installation costs vary based on size and capacity, ranging from 500,000 to 2 million Ugandan shillings from small-scale household units and 5 million to 20 million Ugandan shillings for larger biodigesters suggested for commercial farms or institutions. These prices cover installation, training and maintenance support provided by certified technicians.
Now, the mission of agriculture sector strategic plan is to transform from subsistence farming to commercial farming. This framework recognizes that access to agriculture extension services is key for technology uptake for farmers. However, the State Minister for Agriculture, Bwino Kyakulaga, says that current budget did not allocate operation funds for the extension farm staff. Experts predict that path to commercial agriculture and sector will certainly be hampered. Edson Mumbede reports.
Uganda has a vision of an agricultural sector that is competitive, profitable and sustainable. The vision of the Agricultural Sector Strategic Plan 2015-16, 19 and 2020 is to transform the sector from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture. The policy framework recognizes that access to agricultural extension and advisory services is a key ingredient for technology uptake by farmers and other stakeholders. However, amidst Extension Week, the Minister of State for Agriculture, Bwino Kyakulaga, revealed that the current budget did not allocate the 120 billion operation funds for the extension staff in every district, and this will certainly hamper the entire agricultural sector.
Sending to them 120 billion shillings to cater for their operations. But in the current budget, we were only given the money for their wages. The one for operations was not given in the budget.
It says that government allocated funds that will only cover salaries for extension workers, adding that they are working together with the Minister of Finance to see if they can work without any operational fund.
The extension workers are there and they are paid the salary. We are still trying to understand how they are going to work without the operational fund of the 12 billion shillings for all the districts and all the sub-counties in the country. We are talking with our counterparts in the Ministry of Finance.
It will not only affect the mobility of labor, but it may also have an effect. It is going to have an effect on the agricultural sector growth. That one is it cannot be. It is clear that because these are the people supporting the smallholders now.
According to Dr. Patience Ramgisha, the Assistant Commissioner, Extension Service from the Ministry of Agriculture, if extension officers have not been allocated any operational budget, it will affect the parish development model because it depends on their services.
The parish development model isn't going to rely on the services of the extension officers in the local governments. So once you have not provided them the operational budget, then it becomes difficult even to implement the parish development model.
Again, to do better in extension service, I think the government needs to look into building a stronger human resource in terms of numbers and capacity building of this staff. And then also, it needs also to build a stronger communication strategy for extension services, where we need to promote more of digital extension, being few on the ground and quite a number of farmers outside there. So we need to have that system of digitalized extension so that as few as we are, we're able to reach out to many farmers at a go.
The key activities in extension service delivery for the frontline extension workers are to mobilize and register farmers into production and marketing groups, assess their needs and design appropriate training sessions so that they can benefit from the agricultural extension services. They as well train farmers in technical and group dynamics and leadership skills for improved production and productivity of crops, livestock and fisheries, for example, the control of soil erosion, and conserve soil and water to mitigate effects of climate change. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
We now shift our minds to the disbursement of PDM funds. Enthusiasm has raised Rwanda District during the launch of the disbursement of the parish development model funds to the intended beneficiaries. While launching the disbursement of the PDM funds in Rwanda District, Honorable Henry Musasizi highlighted that over 1 trillion shillings has been disbursed to 10,594 PDM circles. Here's a look to the report.
The parish development model, just like any other government funding initiative, is in line with the National Development Plan aimed at supporting and empowering micro-enterprises. This collaboration will facilitate the efficient allocation of funds and resources, maximizing their impact on targeted sectors and beneficiaries. Rwanda District serves as a testament to the effectiveness of the collaborative approach adopted by government in implementing NDP3 and its associated funding initiatives.
The last mile strategy to integrate the subsistence households okukolerenda yonka into the money economy. This is in line with the National Development Plan 3 and the NRM manifesto commitments in 2021-2026 to the people of Uganda. To kickstart the revolving fund activities, the NRM government committed to give capital to 10,594 parish development model circles, amounting to Uganda shillings 1,059,400,000,000 this financial year.
Minister Msasizi further revealed that 10,099 PDM circles across the country have received 50 million each this financial year, with 414 PDM circles out of an expected 428 in Kigezi sub-region fully receiving the funds. He adds that the remaining circles will receive their funds within 2 weeks' time.
I am pleased to report that this financial year, my ministry has so far sent funds to 10,099 PDM circles countrywide, with Uganda shillings 50 million each. The funds have been sent directly from Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to their bank accounts. In Kigezi alone, 414 PDM circles out of the expected 428 have so far received the Uganda shillings 50 million, and the remaining 14 PDM circles shall receive their funds in 2 weeks. There was a delay to send funds to the 14 PDM circles due to inconsistencies in the information submitted to Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
He further said that the government is committed to ensuring the socio-economic transformation in the country through PDM, where each parish in Uganda is to get 100 million Ugandan shillings every year for income-generating activities, cautioning the beneficiaries to distance themselves from the misconceptions about the program.
Some enterprises, e.g. coffee, require longer gestation period before farmers can start earning. His Excellency the President has guided that the grace period for agricultural loans under PDM should be 24 months and that the loan should be paid back in agreed installments within 36 months.
Over 102 million Ugandan shillings has been disbursed to 146 household members from the 6 pilot parishes of Chitojo Ward Bubare Town Council, Mpuku of Hamura, Kakore of Hamura Sub-County, Nyamabere of Inkumba, Chijere Ward of Rwanda Town Council, and Kara of Muko Sub-County has been launched. Government is set to take on the renovation of damaged roads in the district, assist the residents to fully execute the intended purpose of PDM funds.
Whenever we talk about PDM, people will tell us that The money will not work like the way it has always, like it was a thinking, it is mindset. But the money was here. The only challenge which we had was the system challenges, giving out the monies. Like you realize we have not even given out a lot of money. We still have a lot of money to give because most of the people gave long information. The NIN numbers were long. Some gave contradicting different names. So now that the system is being worked on, we said as a district, let's begin. Let's get people, get money, those who are ready. Then the rest will find them on the way as we scale to finish the whole district.
Beneficiaries who received the funds expressed their excitement, saying that these funds will boost their household income through several projects such as Irish potato growing, piggery, coffee and poultry keeping, among others.
PDM Association.
Since I deal in piggery, the 1 million I have received, I'll use it to boost my farm. Government remains committed to the implementation and continuous improvement of these initiatives, ensuring that they remain aligned with the objective of the National Development Plan 3. By empowering micro-enterprises and promoting entrepreneurship, Rwanda District and other regions across Uganda are on a path towards inclusive growth and economic prosperity. Mathani Msima, Norbert Ndiamuhaji for Smart 24 TV. Business Today.
Many thanks for that report. Now, that story will usher us into a short break, but we will return with more, including a perspective on the expired courses. Stay tuned.